All right, you guys are going to want to hear this. We are diving into an absolutely wild story of family drama, a 15-year plot, and a father's secret plan for the ultimate justice.
So picture this. You're sitting in a stuffy lawyer's office, right? And across the table, you've got your stepmother, Veronica. Your dad just passed away, and she's looking at you with this smirk. A smirk that just screams, "I won." This is exactly where our narrator, LSC, finds herself. And believe me, this is just the beginning.
Now, to really get what's happening in that office, you gotta understand the backstory. And it's a doozy. This wasn't some sudden thing. Nah, this was a slow, calculated takeover that had been going on for years and years.
I mean, just look at how fast this all happened. Elsie's mom dies, and barely a year later, her dad is already remarried to Veronica. And the moment they get back from the honeymoon, Veronica starts her big mission to completely erase any sign of Elsie's mother from their family home.
And this is where it gets really nasty. See, Veronica played the part of the perfect, doting stepmom to the outside world. But behind closed doors, she was a master manipulator. We're talking intercepting phone calls, turning Elsie's childhood bedroom into her personal yoga studio the second she left for college, just slowly and systematically trying to poison her relationship with her own father.
So years go by. Elsie's living her life, working in Tokyo, when she gets that phone call in the middle of the night that everyone dreads. Her father has died. And get this, Veronica didn't even have the decency to call her. A family friend had to break the news.
The cruelty was just off the charts. After the funeral, Elsie just asked for a few small keepsakes of her dad's. His old watch, maybe a tackle box. And Veronica's response? A cold, hard no. Said she'd already sold or donated everything. Just wow. But then, just when all hope seems lost, a plot twist. Her dad's old friend Thomas pulls her aside and slips her a letter. It's from her father, written just 6 months before he passed. The message was simple: trust his lawyer, Daniel, and don't give up the fight. All of a sudden, there's a little spark of hope. Her dad knew.
Okay, so this brings us right back to where we started, that lawyer's office. LSC is clutching that letter from her dad for dear life, and across the table, it's Veronica and her whole family, just looking at her like a pack of vultures.
Before the lawyer can even get a word out, Veronica stands up, and boom, she drops an absolute bombshell. She pulls out this document, an amendment to the will, and announces that her dad was so disappointed in LSE that he cut her out, completely.
And for one horrible, sinking moment, it looks like Veronica's won. That smug look is back on her face. You can just feel LSE's world crashing down. Was that letter just wishful thinking? Was this the final betrayal from her own father?
But then, something totally unexpected happens. The lawyer, Daniel, he starts to laugh. And not a little chuckle. I'm talking a full-on, roaring laugh. He looks at the document and calls it what it is, a pathetic, amateur-hour forgery. The whole mood in the room just flips.
Turns out, Veronica's master plan was, well, a complete joke. It was so sloppy, you almost have to respect it. The date she put on it, her dad was literally in the hospital, sedated. The signature was a bad trace job. The notary she used, their license had expired 3 years ago. She didn't do her homework.
So Daniel shoves the fake document aside and starts reading from the real will. And here's the real bombshell. 70%. 70% of his entire massive estate, the company, the house, all of it, goes to his daughter, Elsie.
And Veronica? After all that scheming and 15 years of work, she gets the remaining 30%. It was like a final message from her dad, putting her exactly in her place. But wait, it gets even better. Because Dad's plan was so much more brilliant than just leaving a will. He hadn't just been sitting around, sad and defeated. No, he was playing chess while Veronica was playing checkers. I mean, just look at what he collected over the years. 30 hours of recorded conversations. Emails she thought she deleted. He had witness statements from the staff. He even hired a private investigator who found out she was having an affair. The man built an airtight case against her. And just to really hammer it home, the lawyer plays a little taste of the evidence, and everyone in the room hears Veronica's voice, clear as day, on a recording, plotting to forge the will and calling LSC an idiot. Game over. It was absolute checkmate.
So what do you do when you're caught that red-handed? She was cornered, facing criminal charges, public humiliation, the whole shebang. So yeah, she took the 30%, and vanished from LSE's life for good.
But, after all that drama and craziness, we get to the real heart of this story, because it was never actually about the money. Not really.
Back in her dad's old study, LSE finds a locked drawer. And inside? Oh man, inside are dozens and dozens of letters. 15 years worth of letters he wrote to her but could never actually send. They were full of all the love and pride that Veronica had tried so hard to bury.
And that was her true inheritance. Forget the houses, forget the stocks. It was getting the truth back. It was that beautiful, heartbreaking realization that her dad had been fighting for her, in secret the entire time. He sacrificed his own peace just to make sure she would be okay. And what does she do with it all? She doesn't let that poison win. Instead, she builds something positive. She creates a foundation in her parents' names, turning all of those years of pain into a legacy of love that will help countless other people.
So I guess the big takeaway from this whole roller coaster of a story is that real love, especially a parent's love, sometimes works in ways we can't see. It's quiet, it's patient, it's protective, and in the end, it always finds a way to win.